My wife says I have to put this back or I'm going to get it dirty. As usual, I am setting up the computer here. My wife said I should show this to you. She also said that I'm not allowed to keep it, so I have to put it back. Why? Because this shirt I got new maybe 3 weeks ago. And as you can tell, I'm not good with shirts or a lot of stuff. So let me get comments fixed. We are good. Our section of the world right around the house is not going crazy. So we are good. Thank you guys for asking.
Because we are in the States.
Yes. Hello, creepers. Okay. Cool down a little bit here. All right, gang. So, tonight, we mold the mersapian. The mersapian. Italian song. Okay. Yeah, he don't suck. That's good. I like him. This little tool here. All right, there we go. As always, I'm doing a good glance around it. I'm looking at it. I'm just making sure that I am happy with everything on it, as is. Yeah.
It's a miracle. I'm just reading the comments.
1980 or Ross?
Ross.
Oh, la, la. Yeah, so he will get molded, and I started sculpting him, what, Wednesday? Is that right?
Yeah, wasn't he last week?
Yeah, he was last week. Sculpting what I want is my reward for getting YouTube Wednesday published. And really, it's not, I'm not even like sculpting what I want, I'm sculpting what you guys pick. So, there you go.
So one or two-piece mold?
Two-piece mold. I'm gonna do my dividing wall here, I'll mold the back first, then I mold the front half. And my goal is to get this knocked out tonight. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 7:46 p.m.
You're gonna try and do the whole thing tonight?
Whole thing is gonna get done tonight.
Whoa.
There is no try, there's only do.
Oh,
There's no do or do not. There is no try. There is no Yoda. Only swamp.
boy.
Whatever. You know what I mean. Star Wars. So, one thing that I have to do.
Thank you, Master Yoda.
Yeah, if I mess up my words, I'm not doing a Yoda impression. I just got too close to the contact cement. So now this is on the turntable. I don't necessarily want to mold this on a turntable. I wouldn't mind molding it on a turntable, but you know what? I am going to mold it on the turntable, but I'm going to mold it on the turntable with a middleman. How's that sound?
With a
With a middleman. Because I want to be able to mold flat down on top of this. Which is what I should have had on here when I was sculpting. Could somebody share this to Latex Mask Central? I kind of said I would do that. I don't think anyone was really interested in it, but because I said I would do it, I probably should. So along the bottom edge, there is some plaster showing. I do not want plaster showing. That would make a little weird spot in the mold. It would also, possibly that plaster would stick. Makes the mold wall harder to make. So all this plaster gets covered up. I also don't want any plaster to be able to go underneath. So I'm going to use clay and pretty securely fasten this guy down. Yeah, we don't want 30 people to post it to a group. That would be weird. Would it be helpful? Not look like we're taking over.
It's funny to me that there is so much chatter that is basically everybody saying hi to each other.
Yes. Yeah, we've been live a while, and
We've been live a while, and people are now, they're all saying, oh, hey, you guys got hit with weather last night. Was it, y'all doing okay? And, it's, I don't know. I just think it's just one of these monumental silver linings that has happened during this that is just kind of amazing.
and I'm actually going to see how this week goes, because I might go live Tuesday night.
What?
If I need a bump of happy, and if people need a bump of happy, I may go
What?
live
You
Tuesday.
crazy man.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Oh, Stacy, you're killing me. Me and Shannon were just talking about Chicago-style deep dish pizza. Where are you getting it from?
What was that? What did you guys say?
Stacy is going to get a Chicago deep dish pizza tonight. Where are you getting it from?
Stacy, did you order one?
I'm intrigued.
Let's hear it.
Stacy lives near restaurants and things.
Where'd you get it, Stacy? Taste of Chicago. That's what we got. They were delicious. I have a friend that is a cop in Dallas. She said it has been nuts. Be safe out there. Well,
Of course, Shannon works in Dallas. We don't live near Dallas. We live an hour away from Dallas. We live in a cabin in the woods. Like you guys have seen, like early on some live feeds where I am outside or whatever. We really live in a cabin in the woods. Right now, that is bliss.
when you want a pizza, it's not so important. Michelle says, we have homemade beef and noodles and biscuits. That sounds awesome.
Does sound awesome. I'm on keto right now, so noodles in general just sounds really good.
Oh, that's awesome, Rachel. Rachel says, I love your hot family because that's what you guys feel like, your extended family.
This is quite the community. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I was saying about, how everybody was, the first couple of minutes, everybody's saying, hey.
Not to me. They're saying hey to each other.
That's why, if, however things transpire, if possible, I would love for us to have some kind of social next Transworld.
Social at Transworld.
Yeah.
Like post the show one day, have a meetup at a restaurant
Maybe
or
like
something.
Thursday night, after the show floor closes, and we all, everybody get to actually, meet each other by name or by handle. I don't care, but just at least get to meet each other.
Wear a little sticker. My YouTube name is.
Basket Club. My mother made me that. Rodney says, we need lots of happy right now. We really appreciate you going live as much as you do. You are very welcome. Gotta say, it's bliss living on the island right now, says Ezekiel. Stacy says we're over 150 in the Facebook group.
Holy moly.
Zucchini noodles are good. I like those. Glenn McCain says, I have some friends from Chicago. They say Illuminati's is the bomb. And you can order a frozen one delivered. That's exactly what we had, Glenn. That's what Big Dog sent us.
Illuminati's is pretty amazing, I ain't gonna lie.
Illuminati's, Taste of Chicago. That's what Stacy's having tonight. You know what? It cooks great. It heats up great. It comes frozen in good shape. We're gonna do it again. We have some family coming to town and have a pizza night because they don't deliver pizza out here now. So, but you can get it delivered from Chicago.
And Shannon had some delivered for my birthday last year. You know what? I cannot wait to get Beast Mode painted. I can't wait to get him painted. And I'm really thinking about adding Hordak onto the list of monsters I want to make. Because Hordak was such a unique look. Now see, I think this slit for the ears, the fins, is pretty much going to be on my halfway mark.
Thank you for being live, Alan, when you discount this right. Hey, Fondon. Just got home. Hi. Can't wait to see this guy painted up. Giano's was pretty good, and my wife and sister met real Chicago firefighters. My sister is a fan of Chicago Fire. Nice. Are you taking this to a Comic Con convention?
I don't know what's happening. I've only been to a Comic-Con when I was younger, and they were not what they are now. It was like, comic book conventions used to be like in a church's basement, and it was just 80 different people, all with boxes of comic books for sale. So when I was young, comic book conventions are not what they are now.
Getting lots of yes, Hordak. Edson says, I've said it before, New York pizza is the best. The free pizza would be next in line.
Edson, you're one of my favorite people, and you're allowed to be wrong.
You know what? Next time we go up north again, we get close enough, we'll do the New York pizza. I gotta say, being a Southerner, I thought, pizza was pizza until I think it was Legendary Haunt Tour that we went to Connecticut, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. And so we were far up north, and there's pizza everywhere. We just stopped in a hole in the wall places we were so hungry. And
I explained to her, like, Texas pizza's not really very good.
Whatever, it's just pizza. Who cares? And then I had pizza up north, and I was like, oh my God. And so my eyes were open. So yeah, you guys have got it all over us. Pizza up north was delicious. So Edson, I'm sure New York is delicious, and I will try it as soon as I get my hands on it. I'm not proud.
I wouldn't go there today.
I'm not proud. I'll eat it like a savage. Edson says, my wife says I'm never wrong. Pizza people are just like barbecue people. Every region has its type. That's very true. And I'm fascinated with food and regions and cultures.
I do not like the real thin pizza from St. Louis. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like thin crust pizza. If I want crackers, I'll get crackers. But I want pizza.
I don't know.
Your face doesn't know.
It's like the first time when Alan came here and he was telling me about, don't they have delis in Texas? And I'm like, sure, here's a Subway. He's like, no. And I thought, a deli's a deli. Until he took me to New Jersey and I went to this wonderful deli. I'm like, okay, I'm wrong. This was a delicious deli sandwich. And, you have to go there to get it. And, man, what a pleasure. So, Edson, I'll try that pizza. But, I agree the same thing with barbecue. It depends on where you are in the country, but it's great fun. And, I know, Edson. I did not know my eyes were open to pizza and deli sandwiches. Proper deli sandwiches. So, I am absolutely willing to learn. I'm absolutely willing to be told, to be shown differently. I'm not proud. I'm trying to show me.
Show your face differently.
Show your face. Emos is in St. Louis pizza. Emos. Did I say that right?
Emos?
Any people from Jersey? Nathan's reporters.
We do have some Jersey folks on normally.
Hello, Chance. Pastrami, delicious. I'll eat anything. So
My wife will, yeah.
I will eat anything. I will try anything. So, I'm fascinated. So you guys are from all over the country and all over the world. I love to hear what you're eating.
When I was 14, me and my buddy John, we took a train from Baltimore up to New York for the Fangoria Weekend of Horrors. And it was a horror convention, obviously. And at Grand Central Station, I had a bagel with cream cheese. And every other bagel with cream cheese I've had since then has not been as good. Because that was such a delicious bagel with cream cheese.
Scott McDonald says, we do cheesecakes here. Cheesesteaks here. Oh my gosh, I love cheesesteaks. Had them. I'm a fan. Edson says, a ripper is a deep fried hot dog.
Okay, I'll try that.
I tried it. Yeah, the cheesesteaks were glorious. Let's see, Fangoria, that's a throwback.
Fangoria's back actually in a new format. They do like a thick 100-page issue all the time. You can find them on Instagram. I'm actually friends with their, and they're based out of Dallas now. I'm friends with their social media person.
Ross says, cheesesteak with whiz. No onions or peppers. Ross, I'll take those onions and peppers.
Whiz is okay. I like that. I don't mind it. And yes, I don't like onions or peppers either.
I do.
You do.
I do. Oh. I do. During my travels when I was in aviation, I learned the difference between hoagies, subs, heroes, and grinders. They are all good in their own right.
Yes.
Cody dogs are still the best, says Paul Bennett. Michelle Schulte says, deep fried dogs are the best. Anything else just tastes good. Ooh, you guys are making me hungry. I'm hungry too, Ross. I am hungry too. You are a little fuzzy.
I'm fuzzy.
Guys, is the focus? Are we in focus, or is it just me?
I could kill my computer's internet if you wanted. I mean, I'm just,
It's not that we're lagging, it's just you don't look sharp.
no, if you're fuzzy, it's because you don't have enough
Therefore,
feed.
they say it's good.
Okay.
Good. As long as you guys can see it, I'm just reading up.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for your computer to fall behind a little bit.
That's cool.
I don't know why that is or how, but
It says looks good from now. We have 60 people watching.
hello, 60 people.
Hello, 60 people.
So what I'm doing is I'm making, feel free to ask questions. If you have questions about a two-piece mask mold, I'm making a two-piece mask mold right now. And I'm going to go through this a little quick because I would like to get him molded tonight. And I'll probably go till 10:30 getting this done. But I want to get it done. So what I do is I have a nice long bamboo skewer. And I set my piece of clay up. I'm not leveling it off because that will give me the best possible yield out of my clay. I angled it so that it's closer to the angle of the neck already. And then I put it kind of behind the piece, and I use this stick to scratch along the edge, and that gives me the line of where I need to cut. Yeah, normally if it's fuzzy, it's on your end, I hate to say. And now this piece should line up pretty darn close to what's happening right here. And I did remember this time, I'm molding the back first. I didn't screw up and put wall pieces up for the front. Aren't you proud of me? And I'm gonna grab my Q-tips. Look, Q-tips. So I'm making so many molds now, nothing leaves this table. So here's my big tip for these kind of molds. These are bamboo shafted Q-tips. They're wood shafted Q-tips, not plastic, not the paper. I cut it sharp and I leave. That's a pin now. See how it's a pin? And I'm pinning my wall in place. Sexy tip I'm giving you right there. Push that in.
Read you something I probably shouldn't, but Scott McDonald says, I made a corporal sandwich.
Sweet.
That sounds delicious.
You know what I miss? I miss pit beef sandwiches from Maryland, from Baltimore. Pit beef. Oh, they don't have that here. When you say pit beef, they're like, well, we don't know what that is. And I don't know. I'm like, it's beef. You cook it in a pit, I think. I don't know. Let's say weather or amber. My phone may do a amber alert here soon, so bear with me if it does that crazy noise.
There's a lot of food talk right now, so. Grandparents were in Baltimore, just remember the blue crab sandwiches.
Yep. Those were good too.
I'm building sculpting base using old MDF I had laying around. I hooked the last.
It should. If MDF, I'd probably seal it because you know, you do get some moisture with sculpting and molding. So unless if you're doing oil-based clay, so that might be a nod for you to do some oil-based work. And I'm thinking, because I have this trench right here, that's going to be made out of, I mean, that's going to be plaster. Plaster's going to go in there. Where do I want my wall to be?
Am I still talking about food? Cheesesteaks and burritos and crab sandwiches.
Oh. Ow, ow.
My name says split the face.
No. No. I don't want a seam right in the middle of my face. I've got these fins right here, and any seam on the back side of this fin will hide super easy. Running a seam right down, that's going to be a pain. Then I'd have to do the mold wall inside the mouth, and those are recessed to fit those teeth. So that would be a bear also. I just want to make the right decision. I don't think this will take a long time to cast, but I'm going to have an overhang of plaster right here if I go right on this side, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I feel like this isn't so bad that I won't be able to pull this without, I think I'll be able to keep it together when I pull it. And if I do that, then wherever I put this wall is not a big deal. It's a temporary issue.
Stacy says, well, it's not Illuminati's, but I'm enjoying it. What kind did you get, Stacy? Did you get pepperoni or cheese or what's on it? She says pepperoni and cheese.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, splitting the face is something I might do on a werewolf. I don't know that this sculpture would require it. And as I get, I mean, I'm doing the wall like around all these little lumps, and these little lumps I only put in to support the fin. That way the fin has something behind it, you know, to give it a little more body. Okay.
Is it a mandatory thing to cast in two pieces instead of one whole? I guess I'm not understanding.
Okay, so Stanley, in here is a plaster head. It's a plaster head form that I sculpted on. If I made a one-piece mold, how would I get it out? I couldn't get it out. So you have to make a two-piece mold so you can pick the clay out, pull the form out, and put it back together. So yes, it's mandatory on two-piece masks.
Crazy idea, but bear with me. When you make an intricate piece like that, and have an armature that splits in two that way, you only have to pull clay and not wrestle the armature.
Everybody on like their second mold or first mold has that thought. And people always talk about, well, you could make one that's inflatable. You could make one that fits together like a puzzle. So you could do a one-piece mold and pull it out. I'm all for innovation. They've been doing it this way since the 30s, 1930s. I think it's the best way. I don't know that there is any amount of engineering to do in order to make this process better, because you're going to come up with different problems if you solve the one of having to make the clay wall. Having to make the clay wall really isn't that bad.
Ross says Chicago pizza, home run in is the best. Always have it the night we drive up to Illinois. Grew up on it. Give it a shot, Ross. Thanks. Try that. Is this the fish man?
This is the mersapian.
So I have the time and some spare clay, and I was thinking of moldings and prosthetics, like
Okay.
bite wounds and stuff.
Sure.
Financially, is it worth it, or should I stay focused on bigger items?
Well, what do you mean? Do you plan on selling them? Or you just want to make them? You say financially, like you're making an investment.
KBFX Special Effects says, you said I could reuse my wet clay. What's the process behind it?
When you pick it out of the mold, just get ready to use it again. Put it in a bag. Like all this clay came out of, well, this came out of that bag, but I've got a bag that I pulled clay out of the goat, and it's still pretty clean clay, so I might use it on my next sculpture Wednesday.
Glenn McCain was asking about, we said he would sell it, but stay with financially, say the answer is yes, he's going to sell it.
Okay. I would only do that if you're going to cast them in like foam latex. You know what? Maybe. There is kind of a market for latex prosthetics, and foam latex prosthetics. Now, foam latex gets you a higher premium. So I would probably go foam latex because that's going to be more value to you and your time. If you go just slip latex, people are going to expect to pay like $5 or so a piece for those. And you can make money doing that, but you will have to be more frugal and you'll make much less money at a time.
I thought it was called Undertow.
At one point, it was called Undertow, but then, wait. Yes, there was a mask called Undertow. Well, someone already had a mask called Undertow, and I can't use a name that someone else has used for a mask.
Is who is talking about the mold down the center.
Yes.
Okay, so this first one you heard, remember, was crazy idea, but bear with me.
Yeah.
Okay. He says, not what I mean. Still make the mold, but when you go to separate the mold halves, the armature splits apart. So you just pull the armature out of the clay to clean the mold, and not fight the armature.
I don't really fight the armature. The armature's not the hard part. The hard part is just making sure you get your mold separated. The only time the armature is an issue is if the armature is made of foam. Then you can't really do much with it and manipulate it. So you are then kind of having to be a little more gingerly with your mold work.
do it myself and see how it goes.
Do it. Yeah, I mean, try your innovation. You might, I don't know how many masks you've made, but you might do a couple the normal way and then see where you would make changes. The process of making a two-piece mask mold seems really daunting to people who have not done it. And once you have done it, I think the process isn't broken, you know, and I think you see that the process isn't broken, so you don't really have to fix it, if that makes any sense. Once you do it, it's not scary, it's not hard.
As you said, like you said, remake the wheel or just roll. Sorry if I missed it. Are you going to use the air tube experiment this time?
No, because I want to do this in like 2 hours. So no. That would be on maybe the next one that I do. I'll do that. I'm re-bricking this clay so I can make good mold walls with it. Because this was like the last of some clay in a bag. When it's all chunked up, it's kind of hard to make a good mold wall.
Plaster says the reason it looks so difficult now and Bruce separated the armature from the mold is that there's a bit of suction. It doesn't matter what armature you use, that suction is always there.
Yes, the suction is the big issue, and 1980 is saying just have an armature that comes apart. And that's certainly an option, but you're still going to have to fight the suction of the clay or have a force inside that will physically push the armature apart.
How would you make fake blood on a mask?
I would use Liquitex Clear Gloss Medium, and I would add red food coloring to it. That would be my blood. Or I would buy haunt sauce from Rip City Effects, haunt sauce, which is a bottled blood, which works pretty nice. Or you could mix clear Elmer's glue and food coloring. There are lots of ways to make blood.
Might be good to use something filled with sand that you could drain, because sand would be a little firmer than water filled.
You could. I don't want to do any of that. I'm very happy doing this. That's a possibility. It's not a terrible idea, but when this mold is going to weigh, let's say 60 pounds. The clay and the clay, I know I have about 25 pounds of clay on here, so it weighs 85 pounds. Then I have a head armature full of sand, which is going to add probably another 30 pounds. Then you're having to wrestle it. This process works just fine. I don't know that it's one we really have to fix. I appreciate the going down the rabbit hole of design, but I also, you know, it's not difficult.
How would you make that blood permanent?
It's going to be permanent. I mean, You're putting red on something. It's going to stay there a long time.
Sorry about your blood, your font sauce. Munster of Herman says font sauce is awesome.
It is awesome.
Edie
Yeah.
Munster, question. Running dark hour, customers or employees, what is the one thing you will not put up with? Dismissal and ban?
Well, there's not one thing that I wouldn't. There's a lot of things I don't put up with. Let's see. No call, no show. You're right out for an actor. An actor hitting a guest. They're right out. Guest hitting an actor. Right out. Now, normally it's something where you kind of have to catch them in the act. So I will see them. You know, I will see them. I'll get a report that they're doing it, and then I'll go watch that guest. And they have to kind of get close to that behavior. And then I will politely ask them to leave.
He says now the future is a three-dimensional render app and a four-axis mill. Watch a robot arm carve, computer draw the images into clay. That would take
I don't want to do that. I want to play with the mud. I want to mix up the rock. You know, that's part of the fun, and it's part of the art. You certainly could. I mean, we're to the point where technology will allow you to do that. There are mass companies already who 3D print their molds. But no, I like the romance of this process. I like that I'm touching clay the same way that Michelangelo did. I'm touching clay the same way that Dick Smith did. You know, there's a romance to this process. I don't think making a monster should be easy. If I'm going to birth something into the world, I should work for it.
Scott McDonald says, yeah, seems like innovating something would be harder than just to do it a proven way.
Well, there's also sometimes there's needless innovation. You know, how many times have you seen kitchen gadgets? You look at the gadget like, yes, it does that, but we don't need it to do that. You know, a knife works just fine. There are situations like that happen all the time in special effects work where we've innovated this process. We didn't need to. And brilliant people, I think, should point their brains to where the innovations need to happen. It's great that you invented a better staircase, but what's wrong with a staircase? I mean, I would rather someone invent, you know, inexpensive to make insulin. That would be in my mind, a better invention. Doesn't exist right now. Insulin's expensive.
Did I read, when would you make a one-piece mold?
No.
When would you make a one-piece mold?
If I'm making a half mask, or if I do one-piece molds when it's a half mask, or if it's a three-quarter mask at the right angle, and I am going to, and it'll be easy to clean the clay out of it. You have to think about, when this is made out of stone, what will my access be like?
Hello,
From where?
Maine.
Hello, Maine.
Michelle Schulte says, I love to use Rip City products. I haven't found one that
Yeah, they're pretty good.
1980 says, hollow rubber ready when you make, I'm sorry. Hollow rubber armature and a vacuum pump to shrink it after the smoke. Thank you, Scott McDonald. Okay, so
Hey, thanks, Scott.
Newman Brown, I remember a grown man hitting a 14-year-old boy that was acting in a haunt. We put on for charity. He went to jail, but it ruined it for that kid. He didn't come back.
Yep, that happens.
Hello, Stephen Bishop. Daniel Martin says, Alan, have you ever had any issue with the clay wall sticking to the skull too much and messing up the skull detail when you remove the wall?
Yes, I actually have. But, yes, I have. But it's just clay. You know, you can fix it. There's very few things that are insurmountable.
Hi, Giselle.
Hello, Giselle.
Fun in my projects is taking obscure objects and creating something useless, 1980.
Yeah, I used to make a series of masks called deranged masks, and you can actually find a couple galleries on my YouTube page of deranged mask gallery, and a lot of the fun of that was the found objects. So right now, I'm putting in what will be keys. Right now they're divots, but as soon as I mold this half, they're going to be positive little bumps, and they're going to help me lock the two halves together. I have my mold trimmed down to about 1.5 inches, 2 inches or so. I don't want the mold wall to be bigger than that. I'm just going to add weight to the mold. And again, I'm on a kick right now of where I am making the mold wall basically as, I'm making the mold as thin as I can. So it'll hold up, but it will also not kill me with weight. Let's hit some Pledge and some Vaseline. Look, Pledge.
Says I'll post one of my creations on the Fever page. It's garage junk that becomes a familiar problem.
Please do. That's awesome.
Bill Schaefer, hello from Central San Joaquin Valley in California. Sorry I got here a little bit.
So you do not have to apologize for being late. I'm just happy you're here.
Have you done a how-to on your deranged masks? I haven't seen it.
I haven't yet, but I'm going to. I am going to. I think the secret's out of the bag. For a while there, I didn't do it because there were so many companies who were kind of, their product was based on that soft fabric and latex style mask. But now I think there's so many of them, it's fine if a tutorial is out there. Vaseline, and all of this was pledged. Hooray! Me too, I love puppets.
How long ago did you guys build Paul's playhouse?
I think it's been gone.
It was 2017.
Yeah, so we made it in 2017, and we took it down in 2019. It lasted, it was there 3 years or 2 years? It was there 3 years, so we had to do it in 16. Because the asylum's first Halloween was this last Halloween. All right, gang, I am putting on gloves, as you can see, and I am putting on the gloves, and I'm getting ready to mix my plaster.
What's your rule of thumb for how many keys to put on the board?
Enough. I mean, I would say at least 4 keys. Some people do a gutter key all the way around. I don't like that because they always break off, sometimes immediately. So I'm not a fan of the gutter key, but I like these divot keys. These are a little small. I like to do them a little bigger, but I don't like to look for the tool that I use to do them bigger. It's just a bigger loop tool. A nice big shallow divot is kind of what you want. Like me, I'm a big shallow divot.
I've got my toothpicks all set for my deranged mask. I'm just waiting.
Oh, awesome. That's cool.
Do you remember, since of your best scares at a haunt, you'd love to hear about your best scares?
Yes. So I don't normally, telling war stories and going into story mode is, I don't know, I don't do that very much, but I can talk some haunted house stories. And now I think it's about moments where I strive to make a scene or an area work that hasn't worked before. In the haunted house, most of the time I am some kind of a wolf man or something like that. And so I just make that character work for the scene that I'm in. And there's some tried and true techniques to just, bust them out, taking swipes at their face, and making that, getting them good and scared. Okay, so I'm bad at this. I don't tell a lot of these stories. I guess I engineer myself now to hit folks that are actually harder to scare, because I know that I have a team who is working on everybody else. And I have complete faith that my team is going to scare most people. But if there's a guy who's coming through who's like 6'8", I'm going after him. Okay, I just did 2 fingers of water. Oh, aquatic gore is nice.
What is one of your craziest hauntings?
Craziest haunt moment?
That's it.
Yeah, we had a tornado come down in our area, and we had to evacuate the whole show and get everybody put into a hallway. from inside of the building. You're gonna put the guests on one side and actors on the other. That was a bit of work. That was tough. So yeah, probably that tornado night was a crazy night. As far as general chaos, we've several years in a row now, we have the Dallas Big Brothers and Sisters program. They'll bring 300 or 400 people in a night to the show, and that is always so much fun because they're all very frightened and they're all having a good time, and that's just wonderful.
Had a scroll knock out the electricity once.
We did.
Hi, Jesse, Papa Bear. Yes. Green shirts are in. We picked them up today. Is your air scrubber on for the dust?
We're back.
It's hard to tell because you're not in a movie. Yep.
I'm gonna kill this. There. I'm on airplane mode. Alexa, count down 2 minutes.
3 minutes, right?
2 minutes.
I'm not sure what went wrong.
Alexa, set a countdown for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
1 minute and 30 seconds, starting now.
No, Rob O'Brien.
I had one scrubber on. I turned on the second air scrubber. So this is the back of his head. Not a lot happening here. There's a weird little hole right there. That's interesting. The little hole, almost like a bug crawled into there. Well, he gonna live there now. No comments, wife?
Just as you said that, George popped on. Do you like hash? I eat it with smoked sausage and cheese.
Oh, okay.
It's a potato-based dish.
Not especially. I'm not necessarily a potato freak unless it's mashed potatoes with a lot of butter in it. I like mashed potatoes.
Is Dark Hour a guided haunt?
No, it is not a guided haunt. You go your own way.
Do you guys use post office boxes to ship? I'm curious how long it takes the post office to deliver packing materials. Usually, I order it and it seems to be taking a long time.
Alexa, stop. We use the post office, and it's taking longer right now. The post office is running, and a lot of businesses are running with a little bit fewer staff. So, things are taking a little bit longer. I'm going to mix up my plaster. I use the cracked earth method, and I did go a little bit thicker than normal, meaning I put a little more plaster in after I hit that cracked earth. I don't want it so thick it's going to kick too fast on me, but I also I don't want it to not stick. I want it to have a good bit of stickiness. I don't want it to run off of this too much.
Are you going to make the tail fin?
A tail fin? Like for a airplane or a mermaid? Not that kind of merman. Yes, not that kind of merman. That took me a second. I had to go all the way around with that one. No, he has arms and legs. If you look up the Masters of the Universe cartoon, this is closer to that merman. Closer to a Saugahane or a deep one or a Kuatoa. Kind of a man-fish creature.
Hi folks, I must apologize for the Sphincter of Dishonor amulet I made and posted on the Facebook page. I laughed a lot while I was making it. I must have missed that.
Our first monster camp, we actually a sphincter featured prominently. So
Probably
cloaca. Yeah, it was a cloaca.
That was,
Eduardo.
yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I asked about Carl's Playhouse is I wanted to post a link to the Facebook Live video you were making the reboot bear from things you bought at a dollar store, but I couldn't find it. It's not the last one.
Oh, you're talking about the teddy bear heads and stuff, the robot bears and things that I made. Is that right?
Is that what you mean, Michael? Rob O'Brien says, so how did you get the chunk out in front of your monster shirt?
You know what? I don't know. I'm going to have to review footage. I have no idea how this happened. I put it on this morning and Shannon was like, why do you have a hole in your shirt? I was like, I don't know.
Change your shirt.
Yeah, then she made me change it.
Because you were going out.
And so I wore a different shirt today, but then I put this one back on to make the mold because, you know, I'm making a mold. So that's a good way to ruin a shirt. I honestly have no idea what happened to this shirt.
Warren says, actually, Cloaca, I can't say it, was Monster Camp too. That's right.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. That was
Okay. I hate to say this, Warren. They all run together. But I also, I have the imagination to where I can imagine all of the students in one classroom. Which would have been impossible.
They don't run together for me.
Yeah. But that's generally, that's how my life works though. And this is the back of the head. I'm starting with the back of the head, so once I get this molded, I can lay it down on its back. Because then gravity is going to help me with the details of this mold. Gravity's not going to fight me. And if I tried to mold this all standing up, I bet I'd have some air bubbles under his chin.
My dryer started eating clothes. The drum wore through the felt guides and opened a gap between the housing and the drum. It ruined my favorite thing.
That shouldn't be the case with our dryer. Quite possible that I got something on this like naphtha or brake fluid cleaner or something like that, and it just ate a hole through it. I have learned that I have very chemical resistant skin. One time, our pool chemicals were way off and I had no idea. So I hung out in the hot tub for like 4 or 5 hours. And the chlorine in the hot tub melted, it melted all the hair off my body. I was hairless. Luckily, I sit in the hot tub where there's this much, it's pretty, and you could see where I was holding my phone, there was a line, the water line was here, and all the hair on my whole body from there down was gone. But my skin was fine. I didn't have any chemical burns, but I sure didn't have any hair.
Georgia would like to know, how many relatives do you have since you're an uncle? Are they still kids?
No. Both of my nieces, I should say, are technically adults. Wake up. Cheney, wake up, buddy. You're just having a bad dream. Wake up. You are very safe. The thicker I can get this wall, kind of the better at this point. I have my whole sculpture covered, but I want to build up a nice thickness on things. Let's go about earning ourselves a pleasant thickness. And right now it's at a great consistency to hang onto the sculpture. It's not going to run. So I'm really working on building up this area kind of under the head here.
James Minnick says, I like your mask salad.
Thanks, James.
Barbie, you want to get a chemical burn?
I did not get a chemical burn. Not at all. My skin was fine. But it melted all the hair off of me.
Good Chuck says we're not going to clean that first. Brittany Hanson, that hairless Alan picture is almost too much for my poor mind to bear. Warren says it's funny how often pets dream.
It is.
I think naphtha is not sold in certain areas. I know some people in my area might have different names for it, but I'm not sure. Which one is it? Would you know what it is?
Naphtha, sometimes it's white gas. You might have Coleman camping fluid, some lighter fluid is naphtha. It all depends. But there's some states that just don't have it. Like California, it's illegal. I think it's getting that way in Ohio too. It's getting harder and harder to find. Luckily, a lot of what I use naphtha for, odorless mineral spirits will do, just takes a little longer.
Are you familiar with Bloodhound Studios? Their channel is dead now.
No. What do they do?
That was true.
What did Bloodhound Studios do?
1980 says I had a workplace incident with hydrochloric acid on drop landed past my rubber gloves. It through my uniform, dissolving my skin. It was a quarter-size hole in my skin.
Yeah, that'll do it. Sounds like a fun day at work. My wife says it does not sound like a fun day. She don't know how to have fun. I know how to party.
Jordan says they make custom latex masks. It was an independent business owned by a British man. Big Dog says the internet is out of my house, so I'm using my phone.
Sorry, man.
Beautiful, clean job with that plaster, Alan, says third degree material.
Thank you. I'm trying. I might have done this once or twice before. See, I'm just kind of going around and I'm building it up. And I don't want it to run, so you got to hit everything at the right time to get the right thickness. Because this plaster thickens as it cures. So I'm going to have thinner plaster when I first start. Now this is almost yogurt. It's a little thinner than yogurt.
Because his contractors took out the cable.
How dare they?
It says the sticker's added, the guy sticks his arm in acid, goes on TV, and I create this, Jordan Easel says, have you ever met Ridley Scott?
No, I don't do film stuff, so that's like, he's way more famous than me. So you may have heard of a famous street sweeper at Disney who would use his mop to draw Mickey Mouse in water on the ground. He is way more famous than me. Like, pretend I'm a local weatherman, I'm that famous. Except, now take that local area and spread it all over the world. So about that many people know who I am, but they're all over. I am unfamous. To assume that I have met famous people is wrong. I have a degree of notoriety. I would not call it fame. I'm also, though, very much of the opinion that they're not so much famous as they have a really cool job. I am blessed with having a cool job. I have a couple of cool jobs.
Who needs fame if you have awesome monster capabilities?
Yeah. I wake up every day and I do what I want for a living, so, you know, I don't have a lot of complaints. I'm not a complainer in general. I've had it good, I've had it bad. Right now I got it good.
Were you an apprentice in masking?
No. Those, like, that's so rare, you know. Where I grew up in Maryland at that point in time, I didn't know anyone who was making masks. You know, there wasn't the internet where I could just find someone who did it in my area. I had no idea. I learned haunted house stuff under someone who I worked with him on haunted houses for a while, and that was cool. But mask making, I had to kind of learn. A guy named Tom Blasco taught me how to make my first mold, and that was very helpful. And I kind of remembered those lessons, and I learned every time. Now, aren't we all kind of apprentices to YouTube? When I want to learn how to do something, I just look it up on YouTube, and I find out how to do it. So, we're all apprentices now, if we want to be, and want to learn.
I think it depends on who your fans are. That makes you famous and powerful. Just burst little for bubble. Famous pleading, monsters are forever, says Warren. Ellis Fire says life goes.
Yeah, do what you want for a living. Okay, so now I have water in here. I don't want to add a bunch of water to this, but I want to smooth this out enough to where my fabric is going to go on and I'm not going to get a bunch of air bubbles. See how I have plaster here and it's thick enough, but it's lumpy. I'm just smoothing it out. So I'm going to go to fabric, which is burlap, and I want that to go on, but I don't want to trap air. Air is your enemy when you are making a mold. Air is the biggest enemy that you have. Gravity and air are your two enemies. I'm fighting gravity on this side. I'm not going to fight gravity on the other side because I'm going to lay that mold down, remember? But now I am clear to start my fabric.
Tuckwork Studio says, "You're talented and famous."
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you could do one or the other. I guess you could say I'm a decent-sized fish in the haunted house world. If I moved to the movie world, I'd be a very tiny fish, I believe. I'm happy with what I do. I mean, this is what I like to do. Let's take a second. Clean up the bottom here. Now I'm scraping this to where I want it, but I'm not going to put this on the mold. That's still wet plaster, but there's Vaseline in that. I don't want that in my mold.
Big Dog says, "So I built my Frankenstein, 7 feet tall. I moved him to the front bedroom and I forgot to tell the wife. She found him. I got punched and a free scream." Spastic Pug says, "Gravity and air were always my two enemies." Big Dog says she left a mark too.
And I'm just running this along my mold wall. I'm keeping my mold wall clean. If I can fight overhang now, I don't have to fight it later. I don't know how cool the green shirts are.
Oh my goodness. You guys saw the green shirts earlier. For those of you who haven't been here, the green shirts turned out awesome. Very pleased with them. This is our first round, so if you've pre-ordered a green shirt, they will go out tomorrow. And we're still waiting to see about the larger sizes in the next round, but for that first round, tomorrow morning, bright and early, I start packing and shipping. So they will be headed your way soon. Really pleased with them. You're never too sure when you order something if the color is true on what you're looking at on the internet, but these turned out great. You are going to stand out beautifully in a sea of black shirts. They do look good. Alan already wants one, and I told him no, so there you go.
Don't you guys think I should be allowed to have a shirt for my company?
Woohoo! Oh, Stacy just seen them.
Crazy what?
It's the shirts.
Oh, they are the thumbnail for this video. I held it up for the thumbnail of this video. But also, maybe while I'm waiting between layers or something, I can show you again. So this is burlap from Home Depot. It comes in a roll. It's for the garden. 3 foot by 24 foot. This is, I think, $14. And I cut it like this. And pretty much this is enough for half of a mold. And then I'm going to cut it this way, long ways. like here's my knife, long ways. I'm gonna cut into it this way.
Warren, you better quit. You just sent $9.99 for Alan's shirt.
You guys gonna buy me a shirt for my own company? Please don't do that.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you're doing something. Warren made me laugh.
And I just want to go, because this is all rolled up, so what I'm getting is now that I've cut it like that, how many people are on wife? I got all these squares, and they get smaller because it was all rolled up. So I have squares, and I have, at the very end here, I've got rectangles, but that's the easiest way I've ever found to cut burlap. Cutting burlap stinks for molding.
George Diesel says, we haven't seen many bodysuits lately. Does that concern you?
Jordan, you're a lovely person. What the heck are you talking about? What kind of bodysuit? Like costumes? Like Chitara? Like disco? What do you mean by bodysuit? We need more information, my friend.
Like he says, I'll trade you my shirt for peace.
Well. Who said that? Yeah, I'm not gonna, like, she's not wrong, because I'm sitting here with a shirt I got maybe a month ago with a hole in it, right in the belly, that's unusable, except for shop stuff like this. So, my wife isn't wrong, but I do think I should be able to have a shirt for the company that I named.
What you're not allowed to do is to go grab a shirt, quote unquote, like if you have an interview or something, that you have to change your shirt and run into the booth building and get a brand new shirt that's part of our swag stock instead of going into the house and getting a shirt that you can wear, which I know you have done.
The booth building is closer to the shop.
I know you have done this, and we ran into the booth building, and when I came back in after your
I did look good for that interview.
you have this brand new shirt, and you'd already destroyed it. So, oh no. I gotta watch you guys. You guys want swag up on the website, you must allow me to enforce this.
All right, so something else that Shannon does that you guys might find interesting is there are pants that I only see right before a trade show. Like, I don't know where they go, I don't know where they live, but they show up when I'm packing to go to a trade show. They're the same kind of pants I always wear,
You're just clean,
but they're clean and newish, right?
brand new.
And then I get back and those pants don't go in the closet, they disappear. And then they show up again. I think Shannon hides them from me so that I have clean new pants to wear for trade shows.
And why is that?
Because I ruin things. That's why. Let's.
Because the latex and silicone would always hit you at the crotch.
Yes, I do a lot of latex and silicone on my crotch.
You do.
Well, this is how high tables are.
I know.
So, like, you're going to get this line of latex or paint or whatever it is right here at the crotch. This is a little higher than most tables. Hallelujah. It hits about the belly.
But for the sake of a show, you're not going to be looking all splatter crotch when you're talking.
Hashtag splatter crotch.
Splatter crotch.
Never looked that up.
Edison says, woohoo on the shirts. Does that include being signed? Yes, Edison, if you would like that, we can do that.
Just so you guys know, signing stuff is kind of weird for me. But I've never been an artist who signs things.
And I like the way that you, put that room.
If you think about it, my art is one that is my main art. And I'm going to say my main art is scaring people in a haunted house. I'm intentionally behind a mask. I am intentionally not seen and unknown. And there's power in that. As soon as they know who I am, I lost my power. Because then they know I'm not a wolf man, I'm not a monster.
Jordan says, fat suits and muscle suits, like what you did for the Denny William. I don't see those from you anymore.
So Jordan,
Does that concern you?
no. Here's why it doesn't concern me. There's a thing happening in the world called COVID-19. And what that did is that caused, with the advent of social distancing, that caused trade shows that I would go to sell the things that I make. Hopefully, mostly big expensive things to haunted houses, like muscle suits and fat suits and things. Those trade shows did not happen. I did not get those sales. I was planning on selling, let's say, $20,000 or $30,000 of that kind of stuff at a trade show. That did not happen. So what you are seeing me make is a lot of masks. The folks who buy the $1,000 and $1,500 costumes from me largely do not watch my videos. What am I selling? I've had to switch my strategy a little bit, and I'm selling a lot of $100, $150, and $200 masks in hopes to make up the deficit that I have from what I had hoped to sell at Transworld. So yes, you are seeing a shift in what I am selling and what I am making. I am making things that I can sell for a lower amount. I was not prepared properly to deal in smalls this year. I kind of foolishly went all in and made a bunch of big, crazy stuff that I haven't even really revealed yet. Like, I haven't dropped those yet. I haven't pushed them at all. Because when the time comes, I want that stuff to still be new. So now, you see the duck on top of the water, and he looks pretty smooth. But my little duck feet are paddling like crazy underneath the water as I try to, instead of selling $20,000 costumes, now I'm trying to sell $200 masks. So I'm having to change what I do in order to not lose everything I put into this trade show. Now, in theory, I should have a pretty good year next year at Transworld because my booth is already paid for. You know, you don't get that money back. A lot of things that I paid for and prepped for, signage and things like that, I've already paid that money. But I'm going to go into it next year also knowing that my sales will probably not be as good because I don't think haunted attractions will do as well this year. When haunted houses have a good year, they buy more at the show the next year at Transworld. That I don't think is going to be the case. I think we're going to have a rough October. That's what I feel in my gut. First of all, it's an election year. Those are normally down about 15%. And I think the COVID and fear of crowds protests aside, is going to push people to maybe stay home a little bit more. And I think that might bring us down another 25, 30%. So yes, you are seeing me make smaller things. Does that worry me? No, I know the cause. I know why. Because I didn't get to sell any big stuff. And it doesn't make sense for me to make a $2,000 monster costume on this channel if that's not my main audience. On here, my main audience is home haunters. That's awesome. It's a market I was unaware of until I really started YouTube. There was a time when I did not understand it. Now I kind of love it because there are people who are passionate enough about what I do for a living that they want to do it for fun. That's awesome. That's a very cool thing.
Edson Juice says that he and his wife spent their anniversary watching you on TV. Bravo, Brian, you're so sweet. So I don't know what size they ordered, but I would be fine with getting a second wave if that size order fits Alan. You guys must think I'm a Harvey. You guys are completely taking the bait and all the horrible things he says about me every night we go live. He's always
You say I couldn't have a
he's
shirt?
always saying something terrible.
She did say I couldn't have a shirt. Like, she said that. She really did. She's not saying she didn't say it.
He's so mistreated.
I am mistreated. Look at me. She's making me.
You're so mistreated.
She's making me mix plaster.
Yeah, that's what you are. Monsters of Herman says, Monster can get your apron and shirts signed.
But yeah, so yeah, there's a shift in what I'm doing, absolutely. Also, I made a decision very early on to go live a lot. And going live a lot, I think it's more interesting and rewarding when you see projects start and finish. And if we were doing those big costumes, that's going to take 3 weeks, man. And I don't think as many of the lessons would apply or whatever. I do want to get to where I'm doing things other than mask making on live videos. But right now I have a lot of mask making to do. And I'm kind of building an audience who is also interested in mask making. So that's cool. For a long time, the mask was kind of the holy grail, and you could build your own body out of PVC pipe and whatever, but you had to buy a mask. And I don't want that to be the way anymore. I want, if you have a monster in your head as a creature you want to make, you should be able to make that from the ground up. This isn't some kind of magic trick where you're not allowed to know how to do it. Do it. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. I have at least 2 layers on this whole thing. I'm letting my plaster thicken up a little bit. And then I'm going to go around and thicken the edge of this mold. And I'll feel pretty good. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 9:15 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to ask you if you can help. Scott Colhart, while a butt blank at MHC, was supposed to get some mandibles. Is that EVA foam mandibles?
Yeah. Yeah, I need to laser cut them out.
Okay. Scott, disregard the answer.
Yeah.
He and I were having a conversation.
Oh,
He was
okay.
asking me about it. I didn't have any idea what he was talking about, and you were talking. I was trying to find out. I was trying to get that, but I was wrong. I thought they were the latex teeth on the website. You guys
No.
have had a previous conversation. I had no idea. So he's got you, Scott. Is there any known reason election years are down 15%?
I think it's that people are bombarded with ads and they don't see the ads for the haunted houses. so that it's not as triggered in their mind. I also think that the ads during an election year tend to make you go a little numb to advertising.
I think you just answered that. Can you explain the correlation between haunted houses and election years? I think you just answered that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just lower numbers.
Jaws on the big screen last night was awesome. I bet it was.
Cool. Yeah, I need to get a projector set up for here so we can watch. We can, have some folks over and watch movies in our pool.
Alan, it's your own fault. You made her CEO.
I did not make her CEO. She is the president in charge of swag. And she is the Minister of War and Finance, which I completely stole from Ezekiel. So I just thought it was a good idea. See, now this is like a nice pudding almost. And I'm using this pudding to thicken up this edge. I put it on my hand and I scrape it off against the wall, because that's where I need thickness. I don't necessarily need thickness, 6 or 7 inches in.
Stacy says, Jaws in your pool would be terrified. I imagine Megalodon would show up.
Heck yeah.
Another great sculpture, Alan says, CS Creations.
Hey, thanks. Sculpture is something that I am trying to learn and get better at. And I tell you what, I really love doing all these sculpts on Wednesdays because I feel I'm learning something with each one almost.
Warren said, you made her a lifetime appointment though, Alan. Well, that's a bad decision. Cobwebs, do you have any other He-Man masks in mind to sculpt?
Yes, I want to do Hordak next. Like the next He-Man mask I do will probably be Hordak. And then I was thinking Web Store, the spider guy. And then I was thinking Clawful, the crab guy. No, he's not going to have a pet shrimp. Yeah, Web Store, Clawful, there's Trapjaw, he would be a good one. But I would do a sculpt for him, and then I would do an EVA foam helmet. So I could probably do one of my half masks I already have, and then do a EVA foam helmet for Trapjaw.
Hello, Masato K.
Hello,
1980 says,
Masato.
when I lived in South Texas, there were gators in the canals. There's gators up here too.
If you go far enough south in Texas, yes.
I love creating new things, and it makes me feel like I've accomplished something.
Yes.
1980 says Mosquitoer.
Oh yeah, he was cool. He might make the list. Now he was kind of robot looking, so I would probably just do him and EVA foam. I was looking at a lot of them. There's also Whiplash. I could do a Whiplash. That would be fun to do a reptile guy like that. So Whiplash, there's Mosquitoer. You will see more probably from me. That's something I would love to maybe explore getting a license for that and doing some licensed Master of the Universe masks.
At dinner time, do you ever find yourself sculpting?
I didn't.
CS Creation says, I'm sure you sculpted Devil's Tower with this smashed potato.
Oh no, no. Well, actually, yes, I do. I do. Okay, so if you look,
Michael Laster says you may want to leave Masters of the Universe masks off the list to get those commissions done.
oh yeah, well, absolutely. That's why I said the next Master of the Universe mask I make. It doesn't mean it'll happen right away. It just means eventually I'll do it. I don't have a ton on commissions right now. I think I have 3 or 4. And of course, the goat is under good progress. All right, so let's do a little cleaning up.
Someone said lockjaw.
Trapjaw, they mean trapjaw. Lockjaw is a Marvel character who is a big bulldog. With a tuning fork on his head, who lives on the moon. I don't make this up.
Have you ever done trademark masks, whether it be for fun or some sort of
Well, if you make a trademark mask for fun, like right now, I'm kind of making a trademark mask for fun. I'll sell a few of them, but it's not like I'm going to do a big push, you know. And I won't finish them out to look like their characters per se on website versions. But yeah, I mean, every now and then you make something that someone else has designed. I prefer kind of to make original stuff. With Jordan's observant question about, hey, you're making different things right now than normal. I'm not saying I'm not doing a money grab per se, but I'm making smaller things that I think I can sell quickly to try and make up the gap of the money that in my brain I was going to make at Transworld, which is how I sculpt my year. You know, I sculpt my year around Transworld.
Trapjaw is in the new cartoon.
Cool.
Man, oh man, my hydrocal can goes from liquid to thick plaster super quick. More water, baby. Using the dry desert method with mixing. That's one stir up.
Hydrocal just kicks a little faster. And I wouldn't use cooler water because Hydrocal prefers warmer water or else it'll spider crack on you. This is Ultracal, and you'll see me make some molds here this week or next in US #1 Pottery Plaster. I got some of that. So.
Spastic Plug says, and the reason I asked you the original stuff for the most part, and I've noticed some different stuff. Ross Reimer, you should get a fanny pack to store your sculpting tools in. That way they're not all over the table.
I will take that under advisement.
Don't tell me how. You just threw that full spike. Says sell a bag of oranges with every mass purchase out of a trailer on Highway 35.
I don't understand that.
30-minute says just say no to fanny packs.
Yeah, I'm already married. What have I got to lose? Not like I'm here to meet girls.
Big Dog just said no, it's understandable to you. Rob says get a hairstylist waist pouch for your tools.
I'm okay with them on the table. Like, you guys love trying to solve problems I don't really think I have. You guys are excellent at that. Hey, you should do this. This isn't a problem for you. I just it's not. I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Splatter brush. They're like, you should wear aprons. Still be studios aprons.
Yeah. I'm not an aproner. I wish I was an aproner, but I'm not.
1980 says it was a joke. I use a nail apron for my sculpting tools when sculpting.
I just leave them on the table. Normally I'm not like walking around while I'm sculpting.
Ross's aprons are hot. And then, I believe, hello. Your mold looks so nice and so neat. Nice work. I hope I can mold. I can get mine just as neat someday.
It's practice. It's practice and it's time doing it. I don't want to waste a lot of time. I don't want to. I'm just deliberate in what I'm doing.
Hello, Gregory.
Telling you what, man, pinning in with the Q-tips, huge difference in securing your mold wall. And does it leave Q-tip size holes in your sculpture? Yeah. Do I try to patch those or fill them in? No, because when you mold those little Q-tip size holes, it makes a little spike of plaster. And you just break off with your thumbnail. Easy. Don't make it harder than it has to be.
Is there a blood pump available to buy anywhere so I can make my prosthetics with?
You make it. You get a syringe, you get a tube, aquarium tubing, you put it on the end of a 60cc syringe, which you can buy here. I can buy at a Tractor Supply. I don't know if you have those in your area, but you could also buy them online. A 60cc syringe. That is your prosthetic blood pump. Okay, so here's my mold wall. Yeah, easy peasy.
94 people are watching.
All right, I'm grabbing a brush because right now I've got little chips of plaster. Little chips. Chips. Chips of plaster that are kind of, well, they're a little bit in the way. I don't necessarily want to mold them in because that would look a little weird.
Big Dog says, IV packs in an armpit works too. Have you ever done a 4-piece mold?
Yes. The biggest piece mold I did was a 9-piece mold. It was on a full body in like a crouched position. And you had to put it together kind of like an erector set. It was fairly insane.
Does anyone remember Mighty Max toys back in the day? No one seems to know what I'm talking about. Smart.
There's a reason we are friends. Hold still.
Oh,
Brace yourself.
oh my goodness.
Mighty Max? Wait. Yeah, Mighty Max. I thought I was thinking Animax. Animax is what I was thinking of, but you were thinking of Mighty Max, and Mighty Max was the, they were like micro machines. But I like Mighty Max actually better than Micro Machines, because Micro Machines were, Mighty Max did not regular cars and stuff.
Mighty Max
Yes.
is Polly Pockets for boys.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But I thought you were going to say Animax because I just got a the 4-comic set for Animax, which was a toy line that no one's heard of. Anyway, I got excited for no reason. reason. And so did you. Sorry. This is me disappointing you. And now the sculpting tools I picked up, there they are.
Small miniature placements with monsters.
Yes. Did some of them have little switches and they would move? I think I remember having like a 6-wheeled vehicle that you would flick a switch and then this gun would come out of the top. Did he have magnetic feet? Did Mighty Max have magnetic feet? It's been a long time, guys.
Remember the OG Mad Balls?
Mad balls, love those things.
What is your favorite tool of all time? You have to do a whole face with just one tool. Fingers moving
Okay. It is a wire loop tool that is a twisted wire loop. Okay, well, first off, you know my first answer is tongue depressors. Like if I only had one thing to use, I would get a little stack of tongue depressors because I can cut those to be all kinds of stuff. But if you're talking about real like commercial tools, it's a toss-up between this, which is a wire loop tool. It's a twisted wire loop tool, but it also kind of acts as a rake. I can rake with it. Or the Kemper W21, which is right now someone is screaming at their monitor. That's why you need a fanny pack. As I look for this tool. I moved them all over here because I wasn't sculpting. Okay. This is a Kemper W21. It's a dirty Kemper W21. This end is great for little wrinkles and stuff. This end, see how it's curved? Where are you? There you are. See how it's curved? Up this way. It's kind of like the end of your thumb, but it's tiny. So a Kemper W21. I'm not thinking of mask. I'm not thinking of mask. There was a cool little toy line with little magnetic feet. And now I'm going to be on a quest to look it up because no one knows what I'm talking about, but I know what I'm talking about.
Harvey says I remember the hog from Mad Max, so I remember those two.
Yeah, they were like half car and half monster.
Mass toys had pop-out weapons.
They did. But I did not like masks because they looked like regular cars.
Stardom had magic feet. Starcom.
What did?
Starcom?
Starcom. Okay, yeah, Starcom. That's what I was thinking of.
Which do you prefer, Chevant or Monster?
Of those two, Monster Clay. A choice you didn't give me, Wed. But I have about 25 pounds of Monster Clay sitting up on that shelf that I use for small things. All the small things. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 9:46 p.m.
Just going to put a little bit of naphtha in my... You know what? I'm not. I'm gonna put a little bit of xylene in my petroleum jelly, Vaseline. I want to thin it down so it paints on easier. Don't splash this in your eye. Okay, don't splash this in your eyes. One eye is okay because you have two. If you get both of them, you're out of luck. And now, before I do this, I want to put on my pry points. Remember pry points? I keep looking up at my TV for comments, just in case my wife is watching cat videos. I forgot that I put my computer on airplane mode, so it has one comment from forever ago. Just in case. My wife is giving me a look as if I should no longer imply that she watches cat videos. Ezekiel, big dog, stop sending her cat videos.
Okay, xylene is a solvent for swimming.
Yes. I used it just now to melt down petroleum jelly.
In your opinion, how many pictures of my work should I have in my portfolio for sculpting?
If they're good, lots. If they're not that good, then maybe only a few. But if you can show different sculpting styles, that's fine. If it's all gore, then don't do a lot of it. Who said that?
I think
Yeah, I want to see as many different things as possible.
it's 10 a good amount. I do more masks, portrait sculpts.
I would say do 20. I mean, if you have good material, then they're going to want to see it. But group it together so it's easy to go from one section to the next.
Hi, Jerry. Al Mantra says, love the Masters of the Universe inspired work. Great Twitter. Any Thundercat inspirations in the future?
There might be a Mumrod down the road, but in all honesty, I was never as big on Thundercats as I was Masters of the Universe. For some reason, the bad guys really struck a chord with me, and I did not feel the same about the Thundercats bad guys. Monkey was cool. Vulture Man was cool. And Slide was cool. Those are the main ones.
Good night, Rachel Powell.
Good night, Rachel.
1980 says, a star
No one likes Snarf 1980. Snarf is the Scrappy Doo of the Thundercats. 100%. He is their Orko. He is their Scrappy Doo. He is annoying and not good at what he does. I think he was Lion-O's nurse when Lion-O was a kid, but now Lion-O is kind of a grown-up kid, which is awkward. Yeah, but anyway.
Book says Panthro.
Yeah, Panther is cool. He
Yes.
was probably my favorite of the Thundercats themselves.
Yes, Horror Beauty, you hear Jonesy.
Now, I could lay this down. I'm going to lay this down. I thought I wasn't going to lay it down, but I'm going to lay it down.
Lay it down. Lay it down. North was Lion-O's nursemaid.
Snarf. They typoed. Snarf, snarf.
Poland says I had my mask fixed with holes in the wrong location.
Okay. I have not edited that and put that out. So I'm going to apologize to Paul for me. I have not edited the video I made for him and put it up. I will do that very soon. Just for future reference.
What's the most overplayed out generic sculpture creature in your opinion?
Clowns. Haunted house clowns. 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 Let me think about it. Clowns. Odds are good the answer is clowns.
When I see a predator or alien, I think generic. I think this is clowns.
Yeah, clowns, man. The answer is clowns. Not even a trick question.
That's you.
That could have been much worse.
Paul says it's okay, you've been busy.
Who, me? I just sit around and eat bonbons all day.
Jamie Paxton says, why does it have to be clowns? Third degree says, ooh, that was scary to watch the mortgage transfer.
Yeah, you gotta just do it. Being scared, just waste time.
Schulte about clowns says, ugh, and everybody wants to be one too, it seems. Alan's true statement about them makes me laugh every time. I use that line too. And they were slack-jawed.
Okay, let's mix up some plaster. So all the pets come in here because me and Shannon are in here. And then they get annoyed when I make noise because they're trying to sleep. my sympathy level is low.
Paul says, my haunt in one room, the door of the morgue fell off yesterday. I was like, cool, my haunt is haunted. Good night, Warren.
Someone typed to Paul that I saw his X-ray viewer, and I think it's really cool. If there's someone new watching and doesn't understand why I'm not just like talking to Paul and having someone else tell him, Paul happens to be hearing impaired.
John C. said, I couldn't stand snark the way I couldn't stand pennies. Definitely a blue chimp alien on Lost in Space.
Okay. Scrappy Doo. They're all Scrappy Doo. For the record, I have no idea why Rob and Rue take so long to mix plaster. It's fast, it's rapid, just shake it into a cascade. I'm done.
John says, I know, no one cares. Like the alien on Lost in Space.
Space Monkey. You know what annoyed me on Thundercats? The burbles. We didn't need no space Care Bears. Didn't need it. Did not need space Care Bears in my diet of TV viewing. Alexa, countdown 2 minutes.
Down here.
2 minutes, starting now.
Thanks, buddy. Wife, do you have a minute and a half worth of story?
I guess I better come
Yeah. So my wife is going to tell a quick story while I'm waiting on this plaster to
Put
settle.
this kitty away. 'Cause you know I got a kitty in my lap. Okay. Let's see. Haunted house adventures. Haunted house stories. Of which we have,
First year Trail of Terror.
oh my goodness.
Tell about your experience with what you did at Trail of Terror first year.
Okay. The first year, and I have a theory. In 2004, Alan and I were engaged, and we're going to get married. Halloween actually fell on a Saturday, so we almost got married at Halloween, and I'm really glad we didn't because we'd be working every anniversary, so we pushed it to middle of November. But I'd always been a patron at haunted houses, and then when I started dating this crazy guy, I started to work the haunted houses, which is how I ended up on the other side of the curtain. And in 2004, we were at we call it Trail of Terror, that was zombie paintball and some haunted houses. The next year, we made the Trail of Terror. Alexa, stop! We made the Trail of Terror that is behind the Renaissance Festival, which was the one we had where we changed it every year, which I've talked about before. And we put it together so fast. We got clearance to do it, like at the last minute. Grabbed our friends, maxed out our Home Depot card, and we put it together in the Texas summer in record time. I still don't know how we did it, and I don't. It was all a blur, but we made it happen. And I was a greeter. He asked me to be a greeter, so I've never done that before. I have no problem. I've done acting. I've done improv. I've got experience doing that, but I'd never been a greeter. And I have a theory that the part of a greeter at haunted houses is kind of a dying part. People are using videos, they're using animatronics, but they're not really using an actor to be a greeter anymore. And the problem is because it's so difficult in the fact that, you have to impart the rules, but you also have to be entertaining. You have to, there's a lot of things that go, it's not the sexy work. The greeter's not the sexy work. So, everybody either wants to be a roamer, they want to be the really cool actor, and he asked me to be a greeter. And it was a baptism by fire night. And I was the only greeter for 5 weeks, every weekend, and every person that came through the show, I processed. And you just don't see greeters very often anymore. A lot of people just have stopped using it, and that's one of the reasons why. But I learned a lot, and I remained a greeter till we closed down our show at the end of the Halloween season in 2016. So if anybody out there has ever done the greeter spot in a haunted house, I fist bump to you, because that's a challenging spot. It's, like I said, it's not the sexy work, but and it's also kind of a dying part. So that was our first year at Trail of Terror in 2005, Screams Halloween Park. I really like telling stories about myself. You can tell stories about you.
Well, you can pull those out pretty quick.
There's so many stories. There's so many stories. It's like walking into a bookstore. I really realize you can't. There's so many books you want to get. You forget all of them. And yes, I have these stories. I am the historian.
You are the historian.
Because it's pretty cool. This is Jonesy. Jonesy. This is why we have no aliens. Good boy.
Or mice.
Good boy. Got a cat. Got two. They're small. Okay.
Chain.
Speaking of singers, I was jamming to the oldies today, and Godzilla came on.
Oh no. They say he's got to go, 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 Godzilla.
Not paying attention to him.
Chain. What's the matter with you, buddy? You mad that I took the sculpting tool you wanted to chew on?
Yeah, he's crying. Big Dog says Dent Schoolhouse in Cincinnati had greeters. They worked the crowd really good. That's awesome. It's a dying spot, Big Dog. People they don't want to have a person there because that person calls in and you don't have a backup. It sets the theme and the mood for your whole show. And you're kind of a launch pad. If a person doesn't show up, you can be in big trouble. But an animatronic or a video is way more dependable, I suppose. Just got here. What are you painting there?
Well, I am making a mold, so I am putting plaster onto a sculpture so that I'll be able to make latex masks from it.
I may have missed it when you said you're doing a video using Pottery Plaster #1, but what is the biggest difference property-wise between that and Ultra-Cal or Hydro?
So Pottery Plaster #1 is the weakest of the plasters that I will use for mask painting. It is by far the weakest. It just doesn't have a lot of strength to it. But the reason why you use it is you use it because A, it's cheaper, and B, it absorbs absorbs moisture out of latex faster than anything else. Hydrocal is kind of sitting in between Ultra-Cal and Pottery Plaster. Ultra-Cal being the hardest, the densest, and therefore the least absorbent.
Rob says, I am often a greeter or a queue actor. Very good. In my area of Massachusetts, the haunted farms use greeters.
Cool.
I agree. I love hearing it. Your dog says yes, and thank them and tell them they're doing a good job. It's a tough job. It's not the sexy job.
I see you looking at me. Cheney is over here putting on a show, trying to get me to give him attention.
They're all waking up. Just hear them.
Yeah, I hate it when they wake up.
They're adorable when they're asleep. Yes, some guests are rude, Big Dog. Absolutely. Because you're not scary. The greeter is not scary as a rule. The greeter is imparting information and setting the tone, but not necessarily scary because you have to get the rules to them. And people do end up immediately because they're afraid and nervous, start being jerks. That does happen. I was a greeter my first haunt ever when I was 16, says Stacy Hawkins. Oh, awesome. How do you keep the size of your sculpture symmetrical?
You work at it. It's hard. You look at it and you figure out what's off. You put it in Photoshop and you duplicate the right side and see what your sculpture looks like with two right sides. You duplicate the left side, see what it looks like with two left sides. And then you make it look the right way. You just work at it. You have to do it.
Spook Shack says, hello, looks like you're having fun making a fun mess.
Yeah. You can also put your finger put a finger on each cheekbone and close your eyes, and you will feel if your fingers are the same distance apart, or if one is higher than the other, or if one is lower than the other. You might not see it, but our depth perception with our sense of touch is actually better than with our eye. So there are lots of ways to do it, but you have to do it and care about it, and not just write it off and say, it's close enough.
That's good advice, thank you. Can you layer starting with Pottery Plaster, then Ultra-Cal or Hydro-Cal?
No, because as they cure, they shrink at different rates. So if you have Ultra-Cal on top of Pottery Plaster, as it shrinks up, it's going to crack all the Pottery Plaster under it. And you also could have a situation where you put in latex into the mold, and then your Pottery Plaster sucks the moisture out of the latex at a fast rate. It hits the Ultra-Cal, and the Ultra-Cal's not absorbing it that much. So then what happens is that moisture hits the Ultra-Cal, starts to flow back, and it pushes your latex off of the wall of the mold. and you get some really weird air bubbles. Or, you know, this part sags in the mask and it's in the mask. So my goal here is to get these eyes filled in. My goal is to get the mouth as filled in as I can, and to get all these face bumps filled in so that I can go right to fabric on the next round.
Big Dog says left side there is a spot over here.
Yeah, there's going to be, and I got spots on this side too. Right now I'm working on the mouth. I will get over there. But I have to wait for my plaster to thicken, or else it's not going to stick onto there very well. And I don't want air bubbles.
Take them out real quick. That's. Of course. Ready to go?
I am working my plaster to its thickness. Like what I'm doing with it is appropriate for the thickness it is right now. If I try to get it to hang up underneath of something right now, it's not going to do that, and that could cause an air bubble. So I'm going to go back and revisit this area and this area after it thickens up a little more. Okay, I'm slowly thickening.
Patrick. Always good. Okay. Was it Ken's Tools that have good ones?
Ken's Tools has great sculpting tools, yes. Ken Banks, nice guy.
Hello from Scotland.
Hello. Who is that?
Field Walker.
Field Walker Masks. Right now I'm testing its cling by going over onto this edge. And I'm seeing, you know, how much does it run when I do that on the edge. I need to get some on there anyway, but it's still a little bit runny for up under here. I'm kind of loading up my brush and then like shaking it off onto the sculpture. I'm not painting. Painting would imply I'm spreading it around. I want to build up a good thickness. Spreading it around won't help that.
Big Dog says puppies.
Oh yes, they're rambunctious right now.
And Big Dog, your boy is causing a scene. What you're hearing is him not getting enough attention. It's your boy. They have learned to swim. The wife said she will take him. He's a beauty. He is a beauty.
Heard the term handsome devil. That is what he is. There is a lot of devil in him. And this is just the intensity of layer after layer after layer, and I'm trying to build it up, and I'm trying to get it to stay in nooks and crannies. Now I feel like it's okay for me to come over here and really start working on this. See. Hello, Laura.
Scott Creighton. Yes. Some of the things that, you know what, and I actually need to check that post on the Creepers page. I have not had a chance, I don't get a chance to tune into the Creepers page as much as I would like. I'm managing the other pages.
And truthfully, who wants to be on Facebook right now? Gross.
Well, Creepers page is a pleasure.
That's true. Creepers page is good.
And our Facebook page is nice. We're having fun, but I have not had a chance to. But there were some suggestions the other night. I don't know if you were on. Someone suggested Stilby's bandana. And I think it was because of Drew's bandana that he always has in his back pocket. He always has one. And someone suggested Stilby's one, which is really a good idea. I think somebody else suggested beanies. We got cold weather beanies. I know you guys were looking at hoodies, so we definitely consider
Hoodies and beanies are coming.
Hoodies and beanies are coming.
For sure.
So there's my challenges right now is fun stuff to put in you guys' packages. You know, when we send out your orders, I want to put surprises in there, some special things. So watching for, sometimes we just find things and we just wait for the right package to say, you know, send me. And so we're having fun with that. But swag ideas I am always open for, because I got to tell you guys, again, I've said it before, I do not have a lot of faith in the green shirts, and to make that order, that's a pricey order to take a leap of faith on, but you guys absolutely delivered, and they do look great, and people bought them, and I'm tickled to death, so very surprised. Yeah, other ideas you guys come up with, certainly open for it, because the green shirts were an excellent leap of faith that really worked out. So we're looking at it, carabiners maybe. I like functional things, mean, I know you guys like stuff to wear, but I like you to have stuff you can use. I'm a practical person, and so, but I mean, you know, stickers and buttons and magnets, people love those too, so. Which
Now, the
absolutely
still the Creepers thread is mostly merchandise options, not so much swag. Swag being free giveaway stuff, merchandise being items we sell.
You need a green shirt that says, "I'm not watching cat videos." Go watch them. Have you ever made a full EVA medieval suit of armor?
No. But I just haven't needed to. I feel like I could.
You did an armor tutorial.
Yeah, I did a chest armor tutorial. Yeah. We did like White Walker armor. We did that in Dark Hour. Cheney. 82 people did not show up here on YouTube to hear you bark, bud. So, slow your roll, my friend. They showed up to hear Mama read comments.
Very welcome. Did you know Farrah Fawcett went to University of Texas as a microbiology major? Switched to art and discovered she was a natural sculptor.
Did not know that.
Very cool.
We are just about dead on this batch. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 10:14 p.m.
Okay, good. Same amount of on both sides. Got to keep this bucket away from the dogs. They'll try and eat that plaster like it's potato chips. Where's the back one?
Good boy.
About time to bring in another one, I think.
That's just password.
What's that?
You're right.
Okay.
Yes, Rob, he's chewing on that cap.
He's working.
I do need to get that cap for him. I moved the TV to the garage so I could watch while I work tonight. I didn't do any hot stuff, but I finished up polyurethane a kitchen island I'm making while watching. Win-win.
Awesome. I love when folks tell me that they're working while they're watching. That's cool. You're making stuff. Okay. Try not to get too much plaster on your hand because it does dry you out really quick. Same way it sucks moisture out of latex, it sucks moisture out of your hands.
Give you another cap. That's gonna be the last one. That's 3.
What's that, honey?
I'm gonna give it another cap, but that's the last one.
Okay. Okay, so Alexa, count down 1 full minute.
4 minutes, starting now.
I didn't say 4 minutes, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cut more burlap. Did you get 2? You did get 2. That is probably enough right there.
Did you find gloves?
Yes, my friend Michael Skulberg got me some gloves.
Burlap makes me want a sub sandwich.
Well, okay. Alexa, how much time is left on my timer?
You have 2 minutes and 10 seconds left on your 4-minute timer.
Alexa, cancel timer.
4-minute timer canceled.
Is your lunch now?
Yeah.
You're not gonna head out tonight. I can't believe you're doing that all tonight.
Merman was not a difficult mold. The mersapian was not a difficult mold. He was a little bit tricky on the mold wall and just a little bit tricky because of all the underhangs. Anytime you do something like a Creature from Black Lagoon or whatever, all those downward gills, it's tough to get plaster up in those. Okay. I rattle that some to get bubbles up to the surface so that they're not in there and I'm not putting them on. What I'm doing right now is I am just painting this whole thing with plaster to alleviate any air bubble issues from little overhangs or crevices. There's one thing I hate, it's air bubbles in my crevices. And then this same plaster I will use for fabric here in just a moment.
Rodney Bub says after watching this, I think my next sculpt might be a full mask.
You know what? I have done probably 5 or 6 of these full head videos, and I just think that it's got to help, right? I mean, if I were going to tackle this for the first time, and I had the option to watch, let's say, 10 hours of doing exactly what I'm about to be doing, I'd probably do it. And I just got plaster in my t-shirt hole, which is really disturbing. Oh, it hurts.
Laura was asking on private messenger if there's a story to how that hole right there. Laura, I don't know.
I don't know how the hole got there. My guess is I got like brake fluid or brake cleaner, carburetor cleaner on it, and it ate my shirt.
Will Dark Hour use this mask in the underwater?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've never done a sculpt, but after watching you the past several months, I feel like I could at least fake it.
Of course you can. All I'm doing is faking it. Of course you can.
Doing my first sculpt, I went back and watched a bunch over and over. So,
It helps. I think it helps. There's on the Stan Winston School of Character Arts, there's one that I watch about every 4 or 5 months. I hop on and I rewatch it by Don Lanning. And it's a basic sculpture tutorial. But I get so much out of it that I watch it over and over.
I don't have videos like this when I started. I didn't have videos like this when I started. These undoubtedly should absolutely help people get around.
Well, you know what? And this is my way of doing it. There are going to be other people who've been doing this for 25 years like I have, and they're going to say he does it all wrong. I mean, I run into that a lot. It is, to a degree, it's an art form. As long as your science works, as long as your mold comes apart and it doesn't lock, then you're doing it right. As long as you get a good mask result that's kind of aesthetically pleasing, then I think you're fine. This is my way of doing it. It's not the only way to do it. Jordu Shell swears by hydrocal. Doesn't like using ultracal. He knows what he's doing. I use them both.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Rodney says, I think after doing it, now I get more out of after watching it.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I can tell if someone has ever made a mask before from the questions that they ask. Because some questions are just answered just while you do it. And a lot of folks get paralysis by analysis, and they want to analyze it to death before they ever do anything. And I don't think that's the way to do it. Unless that's how you have to do it. Once again, I should not be saying, you're doing it wrong. But I should say you should be doing it. Okay.
Bottom heavy. That's good. You guys got that? Looks good.
I might have one more little thick batch to do after this, maybe. These walls actually got fairly thick on their own. got one layer over this half. Now I got one layer over that half. Two layers, I'm good. 3 layers, I'm great. The very first thing I wanted to do was get about an 1/8 inch of plaster on there. And then I get about 2 layers of burlap on here. That's going to give me another 1/4 inch of plaster.
Rob says, I'm sorry, Big Dog says, better camera work than Rob. Ross Reichert says, I always wonder what is burlap made out of.
Jute. Burlap is a type of woven jute. It's lovely to look at as far as a haunt setting goes. Very flammable, so be careful how often you use it and make sure you treat it with fire retardant.
How do you keep records of each mold for 1, what it is, 2, when made, and 3, how many pools done so far? What a great question.
I don't. I mean, you know, I have a pretty good memory when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I can say, oh yeah, I know what haunted house I worked at when I made it, you know? But do I necessarily keep track of all that stuff? I don't. Normally I will have a mold and then I'll wear it out, you know?
I have a bunch of rolls of cheesecloth. Maybe you use like the burlap, or is it not strong?
It's just not. So the weave is tighter on cheesecloth. Now I don't think you'll trap a lot of air bubbles, but it's so thin. Just like the cheesecloth itself is so thin, you're going to need a lot more layers in order to achieve the same thickness. So it's just so much work. So right now, I'm mixing up another batch. I didn't even have all of the last batch done off the walls and stuff. So I'm scraping the sides to get this plaster down here and this other stuff. What this is going to do, is this is going to make this new batch kick very fast. Which is kind of what I want, because I just hit 10:30 and I'd like to say I'm done plastering on this by 10:45 and be done with this mold. And I'll need less plaster too, because the water already has plaster absorbed into it. Tomorrow is Tuesday. No, it will not be on tomorrow. Tuesdays I take and I make and I edit my YouTube Wednesday video. So that way I have a video for Wednesday morning for my YouTube channel. And it's just too much to do both in a day. Now it's possible I may, in all honesty, if I can push and get it done early, get my YouTube video done early, then yes, I'll probably be on. Because I don't want to hear about another night of riots. You know, I don't want you guys to be sitting home with the news as your best option. That's a weird thing to say, but I don't want to see that right now. I hope you guys don't either. I want to see good things happen in the world. And maybe good things come out of bad things, but here I'm going to talk about monsters. Because frankly, right now, they're friendlier than most people. In my opinion, which may or may not be humble.
Good night, Big Dog.
My big dog.
If you're looking for topics, can you do a bike mirror fitting video?
I am going to do a bite mirror fitting video. I'm not going to do that as a YouTube Wednesday because I would feel like I'm ripping you off. I know what I'm going to shoot, so yeah.
Rodney says, I for one am loving YouTube Wednesdays. Michelle says, thank you for that, both of you are the calm of the storm. So I know. Rodney says, thank you. Spook Shack. When you make a one-piece production mold, do you bother suing the original latex mask you were molding?
No. I hit it with pledge because pledge is going to be my release. So I do hit it with pledge. But I don't seal it per se, I just use pledge on it.
RBD says, you gotta go to bed. So night. Then 56M says, thank you for sharing your time and talent.
Well, and there's also, I mean, I get about as much out of this as you guys do. I mean, let's be real here. I'm not altruistic, just doing this 100%. I mean, if I'm going to work in the shop, I might as well do it with some friends.
Robert Bryan says, the opposite of war isn't peace, it's creation. So thank you for creating.
That is a rather true statement I had not heard before, I don't think. Or I was not in a mode to hear it.
Good. That's one of the best things about this stream. Filling out a bunch of new friends, similar interests. Very good. Spook Shack says thanks, by the way. Rob says it's from the musical Rent.
That's why I didn't know it, because I don't do music. Probably not many sword fights or he can have that. Probably not too much sword fighting or monsters in Rent.
No,
Isn't Rent the one where they bang on trash cans?
no, that's Stomp.
Oh.
Stomp is a show, it's not a musical.
So they both like take place in a city?
Well, Stomp takes place in an urban setting, Rent takes place in apartments in the city, yes.
Yeah. Hopefully you can see how I confuse those two.
Well, what have you seen in one? I don't think you
I've
go-
seen one of them? Which one did I see?
Stomp. Did you go with me to see Stomp? Long time, we were dating.
I don't know.
I think you've seen the DVD.
I have seen the DVD. There's a lot of brooms. Yeah.
But the only musical I only take you to musicals if they're like Jekyll and Hyde or
Wicked, we saw Wicked.
Phantom of the Opera or Wicked. Yeah, otherwise I'm not going to take you. I love musicals, but I'm not taking Alan unless there is something that he might digest. Otherwise, no. I will not take it. That's true, Rob. He said, to be fair, maybe he does drum on a trash can. That's true. And Rent. You're right. He's not much for musicals, but there are a few I've taken him to. He liked Phantom of the Opera. He liked Wicked. He liked Jekyll and Hyde. Watching you sharing your knowledge and having like-minded horror fans is a great escape. That is from Kiss Fan 05.
Yeah. Even if I do have to occasionally set Plastic Ninja straight on who would win.
Oh, Lord.
He's a very nice guy, but I don't think he has a good skill at fight assessment. Okay, we're zeroing in, kids. We are zeroing in. What I cut off of that roll was just about the perfect amount of burlap for half of this mess. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 10:39 p.m.
Where did you get that fun calendar?
I ordered it from Amazon. I want you to go in there and I want you to circle all the days for monster camps and important things. So when people ask me and you're not here, I can tell them.
Okay.
Because someone asked me when monster camp was, and I was like, I think it's in the fall.
No.
Now it's in the fall. Because life has changed.
Oh my goodness.
What?
That's why I don't let you answer questions.
Yeah, I don't need to answer those. I'm kind of giving it a spine. It's going to help strengthen it.
Scott Green says, except when you temporarily become a wrestling champion. Does happen to the puppies.
I think he meant the,
Oh, God. yes.
whatever his name was, boy, he really loved wrestling.
He jumped on the wrestling and disappeared.
He was a passionate guy. And he showed up like 3 nights and then bailed. I hate to say that we were a little too cerebral for him, but that might have been the case.
Did you ever use USG #1 Pottery Plaster, and what do you think of it?
It's weak, but yes, I use it sometimes. I will use it for production molds. I don't really use it for the first mold. The first mold I do an ultracal, and then I'll make a foam master, and then I will make US #1 pottery plaster molds off of that foam master.
Jesse Papa Bear says, to be fair, he normally states that is a Shannon question, not an Alan question.
Yes, I do.
Laura Kirchhoff. She says, our road trips become musicals.
That's true.
That is true. Our road trips are...
It is kind of weird that I don't really like musicals because my life is kind of unusual.
Let's see.
All right, so we are getting there, guys. Our Plasterer is firming up. I feel good about a lot of things. I don't like how this corner is built, or that corner is built. I'm trying to get my straight down to the mold wall set. Like it.
Rodney Pope says, change my ALEXA's name to Echo.
Oh,
Don't do that. I know what you're doing.
Echo, set an alarm for 2:30 a.m.
CS Creation says, you're always breaking into song.
Yeah.
Laura just joined Space 160 in the Facebook group. That's great. How thick do you try to get the mold?
Okay, with burlap, I want the mold to be about 3/4 of an inch. Without burlap, I want the mold to be 1.5 inches to 2 inches. There's two numbers there that you kind of got to remember. With burlap, without burlap.
I've been doing art for a while, and I do still appreciate watching people like yourself share their passion. It's a pleasure and a privilege to watch. Thanks, Ellen. That's Sweet Shadow.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I just love what I do, you know, and I want to share it with other people.
Alan's a religious man. I see he's wearing his holy shirt today, says Katie.
That's right.
That shirt is getting a lot of
That's right.
play today.
Well, I don't know how this whole happened. This morning I tried to wear this shirt out and Shannon stopped me. It's like,
You're the best.
yeah, I was going to the dentist.
No, you didn't know there was a hole in the shirt.
I didn't know there was a hole, that's right.
I thought you knew.
No.
Good night, Scott Craig. Rodney Pope says your passion shows.
Okay, we are thickening. Where is it? So I took advantage of how thick the plaster got throughout this whole process and used the right thickness of plaster at the right time. I did not want to necessarily have to just wait for plaster to thicken. And that's why I have moved from doing one big batch to a couple smaller batches. If you screw up your timing, you lose plaster.
Do you know of anyone who sells used live head, size heads, and bust? I was looking at the prices, they're a little expensive for a beginner.
They are, but you don't necessarily need them for a half mask. You could easily just mound up clay and make a face-shaped object.
Changing the calendar, you know what this month's sponsor is?
Dracula.
Yeah.
Who's the next one?
It's Cobwebs and Candlesticks favorite.
Mommy?
Gilman.
Oh, Gilman. That's right.
Well,
He is a Gilman fan.
Where did you, excuse me, where did you get it from? Trying to find one also. I really love those collared Halloween shirts I see you wear sometimes. Is that only at conventions?
I have those made. Those Halloween collared shirts. What I do is I buy Halloween fabric, I send them to a seamstress, and then I have them made. Is Stacy on?
I think Stacy's still here.
Stacy, do you have any interest in making those?
Hey, Stacy, we need to talk. Stacy's here. Stacy's always.
She's familiar with my Halloween camp shirts. It's a camp shirt pattern is the shirt pattern that I use, which is kind of a Hawaiian shirt pattern.
For a bowling shirt.
Yeah, it's bowling shirt-esque, yeah.
They're real, they stand out on the shirt. Philip Earl says, thank you for sharing because it is nice, like having with you in your like hanging with you in your natural element.
It is nice. I think it's nice.
Rob O'Brien says, I love that schmear technique.
Well, I'm just getting it schmoothed now.
Robert White says, just want to say thank you for teaching an old dog new things. KBFX Special Effects. Do you like the Cinnabite mask I sculpted? The videos helped me a lot on my mold technique.
I do. I just saw that. I do like that mask. I like Cenobites. I think they're a lot of fun.
Al's t-shirt tells me someone forgot steaks. Don't work about the steaks and don't work on the other ones.
That's right. And they should have aimed a little higher.
Pleasure as always, folks. Good night and have fun with the YouTube project Wednesday. Alan, that's Gregory Hates.
Thanks, Gregory.
You done?
What's that?
Is it done?
The mold is done. I'm cleaning it up. I'm going to stand it up. But I'm probably not going to crack it tonight. Just I want it to firm up a little more. But I did want to clean up my area.
How much does it weigh?
Well, right now it has 25 pounds of clay. It has the Plaster bust in it. And it has probably about 35 pounds of plaster total on it. So right now I think it's well over 100 right now, maybe 85 to 100. So I can curl it, but it's not easy.
Do you ever mold with pottery plaster? Is the wood you use easier to work with?
Yes, this is stronger. Pottery plaster is not as strong as this. Pottery plaster is a little weaker.
Alan the beast, curling the head.
There was a point in time when I could curl about 140 pounds. I think that time has passed and I can no longer do that.
Paul says, yeah, it's heavy with clay in it, clay out, lighter. Explain the black belt.
It's a back brace. It's just a back brace because I'm fat and I'm getting old and my body is starting to go out on me. and I just need a back brace. Not like when I'm about to lift the fridge, but like all the time. Now I need a back brace to stand up for 5 hours straight. So, that's what you have to look forward to, kids.
I always tune in when all the fun stuff is done. I need to start myself a schedule.
What they say again?
I need to always tune in when all the fun stuff is done. I need to start myself a schedule.
Yeah. This is the tool, the Sureform rasp. That is the put away in the wrong spot the most.
Get done cleaning it, you want to open it up so that it's seep down.
What? No, I can contain myself. It's not going to happen, guys.
What does that tool do? What are you doing?
It is a rasp. It's smoothing both sides together so that so there's not one side is lumpy and crazy and all that.
Why not use a driller?
It just wouldn't work as well. This is the tool for that.
Rob O'Brien, just wait. Screwdrivers will appear.
No, we're not going to open this up tonight. It's just getting too late. I have to respect my wife, and she's got to work tomorrow.
First, you need to let it sit for a little longer.
I guess I could open it up now, but I'm not going to. Yeah. So tomorrow I'm going to open this guy up. I'm just making sure it's nice and firm and solid. Just making sure that, the mold works. Didn't lock. Yeah, mold looks good. Can't wait to open this bad boy up tomorrow. Getting late. Opening a mold always takes a lot of time. So we're not going to do that tonight.
Do you rasp enough to expose the clay tabs?
Yes, exactly.
You're welcome, Betsy. Rob says, open it, it's tomorrow somewhere.
If I open this up, I have to get the screwdrivers out and all that. We just don't have time for that tonight, I'm afraid.
Ezekiel says, it's tomorrow down under, crack that sucker. Glad you wait till tomorrow to open it.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to.
Yes!
You don't want to force it. You want to make sure you wait a good long time for it to set, so you don't have anything at risk.
Woohoo!
Got to be very careful.
Thank goodness he didn't open it.
Say with me, guys. Behold the power of pledge. All right, so our mold is obviously open. Obviously, the mold was kind of a success. I don't see any air bubble issues. The back of the mold came off like super clean. You know, that's just straight out of the mold. More detail in the face, obviously. Now, the plaster is still curing, so I'm going to put these back together. I'm going to put these back together so that they fit.
Warmonger, that is so true. Since my mom was the kid who always opened his gifts early. This is very true.
Good mold. I don't see any light through it.
Gotta try that lead. Can you light tomorrow so we can see you?
No, I'm definitely going to crack this guy open off camera, just in case of the problem. You know, you can never be too careful. I don't want to open it up live. You know, there could be a danger or something. But, yeah, look at that. Wife, I thank you for your patience.
Glad to see it work out.
Both tonight and in general.
All right, good night, Robert Blake. That's a lot. That's a big push.
So I'm just putting a cup of water in here, and that's going to keep a moist environment. And then I'm going to put the bag back in. So now all that clay won't just dry out. It'll stay nice and moist. But that was making a two-piece mold, and really we got started on this about 8 o'clock because I started a little bit late, 9, 10, 11, so 3 hours for a two-piece mold. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for being friends with us and becoming a community in this really crazy time for the world. I was thinking that the live streams might dwindle down because it seems like COVID is easing up a little bit. And riots, what do you know? So here I am again, just trying to put out as much positive content as we can. Say goodnight, wife.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the super chat, those who donated. I really appreciate that. And go make stuff.